Hello, everyone. I want to make sure my volume is good. We're going to get started. Hopefully, we can jump right on in here. I think I have to invite some folks to join us first. How's everyone doing today? Good, I hope. Better than good, actually. Great. We do great, grand, and wonderful in these parts. So I am just taking a moment to invite, hopefully, my sisters see the invite. Since we are not regularly doing these, but this for the month of August, we are having Whole and Bold Conversations in honor of our rebirth celebration that's coming up on October 5th, currently scheduled for October 5th, an extended happy hour with a purpose to celebrate in the book launch. I'm currently focused and working on getting this this writing done on several levels. And I'm just excited about it. Nervous as well. I haven't fully shared every what inspired me to finally just do it. And I look forward to sharing all of this. And in a way, this is a sneaky way for me to fill my cup from all of the wins and celebrations that are happening in our tribe, because it's really, you all are evidence of this work and that we are doing, and the work you've committed to do on yourself, with yourself, for yourself, and not by yourself, because in community we've been able to celebrate each other's wins and continue to grow and continue to expand and all of that good stuff. So I am waiting for Carol to come on and join us. All righty. Hey, everybody. I'm going to add the link. I see Donna, you asked when is the launch. I'm going to add the link and make sure that it's up there. It was supposed to be up there last week, so I appreciate you asking. I do want my community. Many of my tribes overlap, from to personal to uh, professional, my professional life. And so I want to see my folks in the space. Some of my friends, it's a good thing to have friends that are traveling and constantly involved in doing things. So a lot of times in my conversations with my friends is pull out your calendar. What does your schedule look like? Because we are always trying to catch each other when the time is right. If can you imagine? Okay, good. So are you near your pool right now? I see you.
I am in Myrtle Beach, honey. So I came from the beach, and I'm in the parking lot so I can get a better reception.
Oh, darn it. Well, I hope that you can you will be able to be effective and be able to hear me and all that good stuff. So I
Okay,
want
you
to
coming out
introduce
clear.
I want to introduce my sister to you all. To some of you, it'll be an introduction. For some of you, it will not be an introduction at all. It will just be a welcome of a woman who started doing that. I know started doing her work. She was introduced to me by our mutual sister, Elder Vicky Johnson. And that's kind of how our tribes work as well. Really, I can tell you that it's just a beautiful thing to have tribes that overlap, where there's not competition, but there's collaboration. And so Carol came in as a leader in her own right. Her background is in law, and serving in that entire industry and retiring from the industry, and running her own consulting company now. All along, she has been one of these women who always achieves in whatever she sets her mind to. And when she says that she's going to do something, she does it, and she does it in excellence. She is also a juicy butterfly, and and I love being able to identify the juicy butterflies who are right here flitting around our tribe doing amazing things. She is a minister and pastor. She also runs a women's shelter. I believe it's a women's shelter, right, in North Carolina.
Yes, and I've just expanded it to men who are also in the same situation, raising their
All right.
children.
So she has a shelter for families in North
Yes,
Carolina since she retired. Just a woman of vision, a woman of purpose, and absolutely embodies purpose, pleasure, and passion, living whole and bold. And so I want to bring her to you just because Pastor Carol is doing a non-traditional ministry out in the world. Some of you who are in ministry, we get trapped a lot of times thinking that we have to do it the way of the old paradigm, and it's scary. It's scary to do it your way. It's scary to call it what you want to call, what God has told you to call it, because then you bump into the idea of being accepted and being approved of. And so I wanted you to hear from her and hear about what she's doing by the pool. Now, you always can catch her by the water and swimming and all of that good stuff. And so now we get to hear why. Did I do okay introducing you?
yes, you did, and you definitely keyed on a lot of things scary, the rejection, just doing it your way and breaking away from tradition. And it's a very scary move, but you just have to follow the spirit within you. And when you have coaches like Dr. Vicky and yourself, Latanya, holding your hand, you can do it. You can
Oh,
do it.
wow.
So I thank
Well, you
y'all for the
weren't
support.
always. So tell us a little bit about where you're from and what inspired you to be this woman of excellence.
I am originally from Queens, New York. I will always be a New Yorker, regardless of what city I'm traveling in. So I grew up in Allen AME Church, where Reverend Floyd Flake is the pastor, and his freedom there with Reverend Elaine. And
Mm,
I was always in the streets. Can I just be real? I was always in the streets and had street people at my house. My mother didn't know.
okay. Okay.
But I always took in, I just gravitated to people, and I looked beyond who they were. And I looked at the soul and I saw where they were going. And even if they weren't going in the direction they were going in, we still connected because I had to just show love.
Mm, mm-hmm.
So,
Wow.
broken
And
and
how did
whole.
you end up choosing law as yours? Given that you were around street people, how did you end up choosing law?
Well, I was supposed to be a Broadway dancer because I started dancing at the age of 3. um, Gloria Jackson, Bernice Johnson, Alvin Ailey, Dance Theater Harlem. And I was on my way to Broadway, and the spirit's like, no, you're going to be dancing on the King's Highway. So when I moved from New York down to Maryland, I went to Reed Temple, and I started the dance ministry there because someone came to me when I was just in hiding, just trying to do me, said, would you start a dance ministry here? We need one. I was like, I don't know about that. My movement's a little bit. So I said, okay. I said yes after a while. And it took off from there. We went to the Cotton Club. We were the first dance troupe to ever appear in the Cotton Club. And then they started inviting others. And that's why you have the gospel brunch now in New York at the Cotton Club. So,
Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah.
take your credit, girl, for what you have contributed to. Because many of us have contributed to things, and people don't know what you put in to be the trailblazer, the fire starter, the initiator, and all of that good stuff. Now you're initiating your own vision, but we're going to get to that in just a minute. Because a lot of times women don't we women who are hiding, women who are quiet, sometimes are shy about living their best life whole and bold because it's on somebody else's terms. How did you get to this point of doing it your way, Carol?
Wow, LaTanya, you opening up the door.
Hey,
Okay.
that's how we talk here.
Yeah, we you keeping it real so we set people free, set these women free. And it's gonna go right into, why you called me on. Um, I was pushed back from being ordained several times because of my freedom in how I preach and move. I preach and move the word of God through dance, and it's non-tradition. So I was pushed back from being ordained, and then finally I was ordained, and I was told, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, don't wear this, and don't wear that.
Wow.
So that's how we got to wear, yeah. And then I went, when I would go out and minister in dance and take the dance troupe, I forgot the pastor's name. One I do remember, and I thank God for him and his family. Pastor over at Reverend Anika's church, Willie Wilson.
Pastor Willie Wilson.
Yes. He was the first, and then there was another one after like maybe 20 who resisted. But they said, whatever you need, you know, to do, if you need to move the pulpit, whatever, move it and just do ministry. Because I did a wedding over there, and I was like, wow, he's really receiving me. And then when I went to Columbia, I forgot the pastor's name there. He said, look, move the pulpit. I already see you free.
Wow. Okay. So now there's the woman. Okay. So we're not just the minister. There's the woman, Carol, who has been through some things. Can you talk to a woman like you who may have been through what just right now where she is in her cocoon state? Who were you in your cocoon state? Who were you?
The woman in her cocoon was Tina Turner's twin. I had an Ike and Tina Turner marriage.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, I had an Ike and Tina Turner marriage. I left my that was the first husband, when my daughter was 3 months old. So as the woman, also as the Ike and Tina Turner, I was also the daughter of, you know, a mother I love, but who said, you should stay. And others, you should stay because it's hard raising a child on your own. And you should do this. And then I had the church people, you should pray. Maybe you're not doing this. And then we had, I would say some males who, my Uncle Muhammad, Muslim, encouraged me. So then you had.
Isn't that ironic?
Yes. Oh, bless his soul. Oh my gosh. He would come from Brooklyn and come into Queens in that yellow van and always pick me and my daughter up and just love on us, you know, and said there was greatness in you. Then you had the sister. There's only two. My brother and I, we're very close now, but we had the favoritism. We're mama favorite brother. So I was like pushed to the side, kind of rejected. And then you had the little insecure woman also, even though I appeared very bold when I was coming up, and, you know, I was out there doing stuff, I was still insecure because I didn't look like the world told me I should look. You know, I was tall. How did
the world tell you should look?
Tall, dark skin, slim. You know, my body shape is different. And that's one thing I thank God that I was living in New York, because New York has a lot of freedom in there. They really don't, you know, you find your little cliques, but overall it's very free in New York. So that helped me bring myself more out. And I was always very inquisitive as far as the law, and I want to know my rights, this and that, even though, you know, I didn't express all of that. So that's how I got into law, and I combined law with dance, because my mom's like, you're not going to make it to Broadway, you need to find another career. People putting your dreams down. So I still pursued my dance, and I went to work for the family lawyer. And then my uncle, another uncle, brought home the chief. It was the chief newspaper, and I got my first job with IRS. And I moved up the ladder there. But I combined law and dance, because I never threw away my dream. It was always deep inside of me. I'm going to be a dancer. But the law brought the money in. And then now the dancing and the law is both bringing the money in.
Hello. Now, how did you get out of that first marriage? You being that you had already experienced rejection, you were told, had either direct or indirect messages that you needed to be something different. How did you get out of, that marriage?
When he went to work, I called Uncle Muhammad up, and when he left, the van pulled up, and I rolled out and went to stay with Grandma. Got on welfare and completed my bachelor's degree on the welfare system and worked. Then I got a scholarship to the University of Richmond to do the paralegal work more, and then I came up to Maryland with a partial scholarship and graduated from the University of Maryland.
Okay, so then you're now, by this time you're in ministry, you have your career on the way, you have this vision inside, you get married again, right?
To a church brother. I said, okay, I'm gonna get this one right because he in the church. Not.
That's what they say, right?
Not. And so I stayed married to him. The first one I stayed married for 3 months. The second one was 3 weeks. And then I married again. And I stayed in that one for 10 years. And that one really shut me down a lot. Because I was trying to do it the church way. And then I was like, well, maybe he needs help. I was trying to be his mother and his doctor and everything else and forgetting about me still living. And I was surprised I did that because I used to always tell my daughter, God didn't put me here just for you. God put me here for me too. But I lost all of that when I got married. I lost me. And I had to get me back.
Come on. You told your daughter, God, I want the mothers to hear this because mothers struggle with guilt, putting themselves first. And Carol says she taught her daughter that God didn't put me here just for you. That's powerful.
Yeah. I said, God put me here for me. I got dreams, I got visions, I got passions, I got everything too. And I forgot that. I forgot it.
You still forgot it, even though you knew this, you embodied this, the religious stuff took you on a path of trying to get it right.
Correct.
Okay, so now you said that thing shut you down. So here we are now you about to start taking on wings. You start to shed some things. So how did you get there? How did you start opening?
When I left the marriage after 10 years, well, even before that, I was doing little stuff. I connected with Dr. Vicky and yourself and went through your programs, always listening to even though I don't log on a lot, I'm always there because I'll come on afterwards. I listen to, okay, there they go. I was listening to what y'all was saying and I implemented those things. And then I remembered what I had within me and everything just came out. And then I got tired of people telling me no. You get tired of that no.
Wait a minute. Carol is a New Yorker. I tell her this all the time. So she goes fast. She gets straight to the point. New Yorkers don't be giving you a whole lot of detail.
Don't tell me no.
So wait a minute though. You say you start doing this work, and of course I'm gonna emphasize Juicy because you embody Juicy in your own unique way, and you do it unapologetically. So how did you get to be this Juicy now retiree with a grown daughter? You have a business now, and we're getting to the ministry, but this Juicy piece shows up in the ministry. But we need to tell folks how you got to this Juicy. So what's your way?
I've always been juicy. I've always been juicy as a child. I've always was sexual but not promiscuous. And if you got to have different partners and stuff, that's fine on you too, because you got to still interview just like men interview us. So I always had that type of idea. I have to explore, put it that way. I call it interview. You shouldn't tell people you're interviewing. I'm like, yeah, I'm interviewing men because I'm special. But I was always sexy. And I always liked to dress like a woman. I turned down several jobs because I told them I couldn't wear no pants. I had to wear heels and my stilettos, and I wanted to sway my hips when I went to work. And I was in the courtrooms. My boss would fly into every city I was in. She says, Carol, you got on hooker shoes. I'm like, what? I said, these are my stilettos. She said, why you need those high heels in the courtroom? I'm like, because I'm a woman. I'm sexy.
Right.
you know.
Right.
And it's sometimes it's a man's environment, but I still got to walk in there as a woman. I got to turn heads.
Yes. 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 And
Yeah.
so how did you get to you were shut down, so you get juicy again, and now tell me now, bring us up to date. Something in you started to open up. What was it?
I started to value myself and what I have. Um, I opened my mouth more. Um, and I didn't let other people identify me, because I used to let a lot of people identify me or say, "Hush, don't say that right now. Just wait." And I'm like, I just a boldness just shot up in me. And there's a song that I always love to hear, and it's by Yolanda Adams. Never give up. It's something deep inside of you is inspiring you to do more. You know, let it come up, and that song helped me a lot. So that motivated me.
Okay.
And then I look at a lot of my other sisters, and see that they're moving and doing and being, and I'm like, okay, y'all encourage me.
So
Yeah.
so Carol, let's keep
And
it
where we're at now,
real.
we're preaching by the.
A lot of times when people retire, but they're almost damn near ready to die, and you have done some, like, you've taken on a whole new life. Like, you really are the embodiment of that. Do you consider
Well, it
yourself a
was.
senior? I don't even know. Do you consider yourself a senior?
No, I am 56 years old. Oh,
Yeah,
wait a
you're
minute. No,
not
I'm
really
not.
a senior.
I am 58. Oh, Lord. Karina, I'm 58. I keep telling everybody I don't remember how old I am because I feel like a teenager. I do. I feel like I'm 20 years old. But before I retired, I did the work. I listened to what my mentor, Dr. Vicki Johnson, said. Get stuff in order. I started getting my business lined up. 2 years before I retired, I incorporated everything. I got my patent. I got my labels. I did everything. Everything as a businesswoman I prepared for before I retired. So it was easy to just step into it. And then I was doing stuff too. Um, and then how I came up with preaching by the pool. Again, I was told and I saw and I heard people telling women that go to church, you can't wear a bathing suit, you can't wear a bikini. And they would tell me, Carol, you wearing that? You wearing this? You wearing that? I'm like, I'm a woman. So I want to attract, like I said, I came up from the streets. Even though I came up from a very good family, I hung in the streets. I wanted to bring the women that were in the streets who knew the Lord, loved the Lord, and some who didn't, but they were looked upon negatively in the church, to be able to come somewhere and hear and be inspired so they can move into their destiny. And then I got tired. The other thing is I got tired of people telling me as a pastor I can't wear a bikini. No, you see this body? I got to, look, my shirt even says inspired and motivated. I got to be who I am. I'm a woman first. I am a woman
Right.
first before I'm a pastor, before I'm a paralegal, before I'm an investigator, before I'm a security crowd control. I am a woman. And he said,
Come
I'm coming to
on.
my daughter.
You got
Yeah.
to say that again
So
because
that's
it broke
where
up
we
as
are
soon
today.
as you got ready to quote that thing.
Yeah.
You
Jesus said I was
you
coming
got
to, he was coming to his daughter, his child. I'm a woman
uh-huh.
first.
Yes,
He didn't
yes.
come looking for a pastor. He didn't come looking for a paralegal. He didn't come looking for, a crowd control person or an investigator or a data person. No, he came looking for a woman, the woman at the
Yes.
well. I
Come
was
on now.
thirsty. I was thirsty.
Ooh, come
Girl, I was
on.
thirsty. Oh my
What were
God.
you
And then
thirsty? What
then
were
there
you
was the
thirsty
crowd of
for?
naysayers.
What were you
And I had
thirsty
to read.
for?
Girl, I was thirsty for my freedom. I was thirsty for loving me and being really. I shouldn't say loving me because I've always loved me. I was thirsty for someone accepting me and loving me the way I would love them, because I love overboard. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I give 100%,
Mm-hmm.
loyal, faithful. But I wasn't receiving that. I was getting broken people
Okay.
and parasites.
Mm-hmm.
And as women, and let me say this, Latanya, because you spoke on it a lot. I had to break that old tradition when mama said you got to do this for the man, you got to cook, you got to do this, you got to do that in order to have a man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't cook. My brother cooks. All that traditional stuff of what we did back in the day for, the household. And that's good for some households, that's fine, but that ain't good for me because Carol ain't cooking unless I feel like it. I'm not that
Mm-hmm.
traditional wife. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
you want to cook for me, fine. You want to do everything, fine. I'll help clean up afterwards. But no, let me sit back with my feet up. I was always told I'm supposed to sit back and be pretty. And I lost that. I am a
Wow.
queen and I'm supposed to sit back and be pretty since high
And be
school
and be served.
and be served because I serve you too. But you got to serve me
Right.
first.
Exactly. So what do you think, what do you, is it difficult for women to come in and be in a bathing suit and sit by the pool and receive ministry, or is it refreshing for them? What have
It,
you noticed?
okay, let me put this umbrella down.
Because the
Okay,
sky is
so
absolutely beautiful.
yeah, yeah. I just want to make sure we keep our reception, and we will. If I feel it going off, then I'll take and come back closer to the car. But okay, here we are. So a couple of women, I had to tell them.
Yep, the reception is shifted. Can't hear you. Uh-oh. Just when it gets good to you, just when it starts to get good, every time it seems like the technology. The reason why Carol is actually having a reception issue is because she's actually by the beach, living her best life, always near water and that type of thing. So, um, this is exactly what, demonstrating it. Normally, we like to be in an environment, but sometimes life invites you to engage it. You can't always present the glossy recording and that type of thing when you're living. I think I just made a post about that. So we're reconnecting with, and again,
Okay, there we go. Let me stay near the car.
okay, and so again, she dropped right back out. uh, we're gonna close out shortly, but I want to try to get her her inspiration, and also just how women are receiving it and able to integrate, just literally being in a bathing suit and sitting and not having to dress up and perform, not having to be worried about being a woman. There are a lot of women right now who are in the church who are bifurcated. They're torn about how am I a woman and I love God. And then there are women who are they take it to the extreme, where they show up in church with an agenda just to talk about church. We're here to talk about living your vision in a way that is tailored to you, and you tailor making your life. And that's what we're celebrating in October. Is it wasn't easy to have a non-traditional ministry for me in this way, a marketplace ministry. It wasn't always easy for me because of me wanting to be and loved and embraced by my colleagues in ministry. It's not an easy road. So people see the glory, but they don't know the story. So I'm getting the sister stories today. So go ahead, Pastor Carol, you back?
Yes, I'm back. Okay, so a lot of women, they felt very free. But I had to tell some women, don't come to my house in no long, bulky shirt or dark color. I need you to wear light colors, colors that vibrate. And so,
And why did you do that? We lost her. Okay. So it's going to be this kind of party with face. Thank you for those of you who are back, who are hanging in here, because I know you get kicked off on and off even when you're watching. So this is about being able to surrender control and keep it moving. Um, So I'm adding her again, and hopefully we can get her on in here. Finish it out.
Okay. The Wi-Fi here is terrible.
All right. So light and bright colors.
Because they change your mood.
Okay, so we're gonna keep it moving. So basically, Carol has a ministry by the pool. Real ministry by the pool. The point of inviting her on, just as we talked to each woman last week, was our beloved sister Sandra. The week before was our beloved sister Dawn. We have some more sisters who are doing some amazing things in their life, from the way that they're raising their children, to the way that they're doing business, to the way that they are even engaged in relationship or marriage, non-traditional relationships, and living and thriving. Sometimes as women, we need evidence that there are people who are thriving. They're not struggling. They are not grieving or looking to duplicate what somebody else has. I want to talk about that for a minute, because sometimes we think that we have to do exactly what our mentor is doing. But there's something that God puts inside of you for you to create and to blend and to put your signature on it. So that's why we are having this conversation, to encourage our tribe and to celebrate our sisters who did their work, and their work is evidenced in the work they are now doing. So once again, she dropped off, and so we're excited. And maybe in the comment section, Carol can place about her life, and she talked about it very succinctly, but there are definitely details to that come out whenever Carol is talking and sharing. And she is a woman's woman, as for those of you who know her. And I love building this sisterhood and this tribe with women who are here to be sisters first, not just to advertise what they're doing. Each one of you could be advertising every day and posting ads in here about point. But you don't. You do relationship first, because why? You are doing your work. Many of us have been doing the work privately for years before we were ready to take the main stage of our lives. And so these whole and bold conversations are with sisters who are taking the main stage in their life in this rebirth community. And many of them are juicy butterflies, women who have completed the rites of passage process, the 6 months rites of passage, have done private coaching, have done every other type of process you can imagine. And while they are still living their whole and bold vision for themselves. So we'll try one more time, because we don't give up in here, Carol. So just close us out with what you want people to know about why you are doing this in this ministry this way, in this non-traditional way.
Preaching by the pool is so you can remember who you are as a woman, so you can dress
how you want to dress. And you can embody your womanhood and have some fun in ministry. If I could just finish it. I don't